Coming to you live in Las Vegas from Circa Resorts and Casino. You know, I've talked about Circa on the air a lot, and it started at the Super Bowl this past year because I lost a bet to former NFL defensive back Bryant McFadden, two-time Super Bowl champion with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we make a steak dinner bet each and every year. And when we got to Vegas for Super Bowl week and it's time to pay it off, he goes, meet me at Barry's, this is where you're taking me to, and you have to buy me a steak dinner. So Barry's is inside Circa, and the meal was absolutely phenomenal. And then later in the week, because we're here for the entirety of Super Bowl week, I had a buddy of mine say that he had a cabana at the Stadium Swim. And I'm like, Stadium Swim? How do I know that? And I go, oh, it's every time you're on social media and you see people in Las Vegas watching like every game possible from the pool, which is basically just like heaven for sports fans. I go, that's at Circa Resorts and Casino. And obviously now we have a partnership here, and they've invited us out here for the rest of the week in Las Vegas. We got here on Thursday. We're going back over the weekend, and it's really just a wonderful event. And we'll talk about Circa Millions. We'll talk about Circa Survivor. But the man that's behind this entire operation, the owner and CEO, is Derek Stevens, and he's kind enough to join us right now, and he could be the best-dressed person in here. Yesterday, I thought I was the best-dressed person in here. Today, in this pink suit that kind of looks like they're like pajamas. It's like a pajama kind of suit. It's very nice. That looks very comfortable.
It's very comfortable.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. What an intro. Thank you very much, Zach. This was terrific. Thanks, and welcome back to Las Vegas. Welcome back to Circa.
No, I appreciate it. So, you know, we've been talking about it, obviously, Circa Survivor and Circa Millions. For people that don't know, what do they need to know about it?
Well, we've got two football contests here, and this is football contest sign-up weekend. The first contest is the Circa Millions. This is year 6 of Circa Millions. It's a $1,000 entry fee. You must register, according to the Nevada laws, you must register in Nevada, so at one of our 7 sportsbook locations in the state. And it's a $6 million guarantee. There are 126 ways to win. We pay the top 100 out over the course of the year. It's a pick 5 contest, so you pick 5 games against the point spread each week. And we also have the quarterly prizes. We're guaranteed $1.2 million in quarterly prizes because we split the season up into 4 quarters. And we kind of do that just in case you get real hot in a quarter.
Yeah.
At least you got a way to cash. So, again, 126 different ways to cash. What's also unique is you must sign up in Vegas or in Nevada, but you can play from anywhere. So if you go down to the sportsbook right now, my gosh, 8-10 different proxies. It's like professors holding office hours right now. They're all over the place.
So it's one thing to have a vision of what a place can become. Like, we all have visions in life, and then you got to execute those visions. To see what this has turned into, just how do you kind of process that you guys had a vision, and obviously it's paid off so far? Well,
it worked out pretty well. I mean, we kind of thought if we built a casino that was orientated around sports. I've always thought sports is not trendy. I'm a big sports fan, obviously, so I felt comfortable in doing it. I thought in casino and resort design around the country, the last 30 to 40 years, sports has kind of been treated as a necessary evil or a necessary amenity, or maybe something where people would say, oh, sports doesn't earn enough per square foot compared to slot machines or something like that. But I always thought that if you could really focus in on sports, that really targets in sports fans, where no matter where you're from, you could see the game you want, the team you want. Whether you stay at one of our hotels or not, you're going to want to go to the best sports-orientated hotel casino when you come to Vegas, and that's kind of what we kind of themed it around. So that's why it was important to me when we were designing and sketching and all that. Let's design the world's biggest sports book. So 3-story sports book, big screen. Did it jointly designed with Daktronics for this big screen, and then we kicked it upstairs to Stadium Swim with the 143-foot screen.
It's crazy. If you've never been, you got to go. I was there yesterday. I had dinner reservations, and I'm like, I kind of want to just blow off dinner because I'm sitting out here in the sun. I'm at the pool. You could charge the drinks right to the room, and you had all the games on.
Yeah, you had all the games on.
It is heaven for a sports fan.
Yeah, that's kind of what we tried to do, So for anybody that comes to Vegas, if you're accustomed to staying at one property or another, that's fine. But if you're a big sports fan, you're probably going to want to stop in and visit Circa. So that's kind of what we tried to do.
The sports scene in Vegas is something that no one could ever imagine. Like, we never thought the NHL would be here, especially football would ever be here. And I've had the fortune of going to a Golden Knights game, and the in-stadium atmosphere, it feels like you're at a casino. It feels like you're at a club. It's very fun. It's very happening. The football stadium is wonderful here. To see what Vegas has become in the sports world, where for years sports organizations and leagues would be like, oh, we can't get into bed with Las Vegas because of gambling. And now obviously that's changed around the country. Just how do you kind of process that?
Well, everybody kind of thought that, the NFL's position for quite a long time of like, oh, we want nothing to do with gambling. Yet at the same point, everybody realizes that Monday Night Football was the pay and collect day. There's a lot of reasons why gambling kind of helped out Monday Night Football, helped out football in general. But now there's this stigma over gambling, and very clearly it started changing maybe 5 years ago, and then. I'd say 10 years ago, but then 5 years ago when the courts overturned PASPA, that's when everything changed, because now all of a sudden sports gambling became legal in more states. And when that happened, that's when everything changed, because now all of a sudden media companies are talking about things they never used to. Before, you would see a game, this team at that team, but now you see this team at that team, and that team's -7.
Yeah.
And now the over-under is 43. So now all of a sudden this stuff that was all taboo, you couldn't say anything about. Now it's all right in the mainstream, and it's just made the popularity of sports grow. I think sports gambling. Obviously, I'm in this business, so you could say I'm biased. I understand that, but I do think sports gambling is good for team owners. I think it's good for leagues. I think it's good for players' unions. I think it's good for players. I think it's good for media.
How so for players? Just wonder.
Well, I mean, because. I'm going down. It's good for media. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the rates for a television commercial watching a game has skyrocketed. The rates for sponsorships. We put our Circa logo patch on the Golden Knights jersey. Mm-hmm. We're going to have our Circa Sports logo patch on the Blackhawks jersey this year. So all these elements, because of sports gambling, are adding a lot more dollars of revenue into the teams. And then with the players' unions, I mean, a percentage of that's going to go to players. So as we've seen, player contracts are all setting records, every single sport. So I think it's good for players' unions, good for players. It's great for media, because you've got a number of companies, whether it's a smaller company like us or DraftKings. I mean, they spend a lot of money on commercials. They spend they sponsor a lot of shows. So I think that's great. And I think it's great for fans, because fan engagement is so much higher. I think everybody understands. You got $10 on a game, you're gonna have a little more engagement. You're gonna pay attention a little bit more. So I think fans really enjoy the games a bit more when they got a bet on the game.
Talking to Derek Stevens, obviously the owner and CEO of Circa Resorts and Casino. So everyone's had like a legendary gambling night, whether it's with your buddies on a bachelor party, you're in Las Vegas and you're checking out a casino, whether it's hitting a bet that you placed and you're like, oh, I put $50 down, I won 800, had no clue how the heck that happened. You run this entire place. Was there one night in particular that stands out where there's always a buzz here, but there was just like a really crazy buzz over a big game or a big event?
I would say, are you talking about at Circa here? Yeah, at Circa. I would say, because of our sports orientation, it's kind of a special feeling to be out here on a Sunday morning of Super Bowl. I've got my own routine down. I take about, I'd say, 2.5 hours. I have my couple assistants with me, and I walk our venues to all of our parties just to check everything out. We throw effectively like 12 Super Bowl parties of all different sizes, anywhere from, let's say, 200 people up to our big one at our event center, 12,000 people. So having to go check out every food vendor, every table, every screen that we've got, that's kind of fun. The buzz on a Super Bowl Sunday morning in Vegas is unbelievable. You can just feel that energy. So I love that day, and then obviously
first week of the tournament,
opening day,
right?
opening Thursday and Friday of the tournament. that's just pure ridiculous fun chaos. So that's a lot. That's just when we let everything fly. People are betting everything. I mean, it's unbelievable. The stories you hear, like somebody loves Colgate. Somebody what do you mean you love Colgate? You never see Colgate in 5 years. What are you talking about?
So. You know what happens? It's you see all the shows, and it's like, oh, I got my bracket busters, and with Seth Davis as one team, and then everyone starts and ended up placing those bets. Wrap it up with Derek Stevens. So I want to ask you this. When you take a glance at Major League Baseball right now, I truly don't have a feel on who's going to win the World Series. Is there like a team that if they get there, you guys no, hey, we're going to take a hit just with all the futures that have been placed?
Well, I think this year it's wide open. I mean, you look at a team that was kind of number one throughout the year that nobody feels good about. Los Angeles Dodgers. You can't feel good about it. I mean, I don't know about who's their best pitcher. Number one pitcher is Flaherty. They just picked him up a couple weeks ago, right? You don't know what you're going to get with Buehler, so it's going to go Flaherty, Kershaw, and then what? So there's a lot of problems with the Dodgers. They don't look that strong. Yankees, they look a little bit vulnerable as well. You're not going in.
It's just Judge and Soto.
Yeah, I mean, you got Judge and Soto. It's a lot of fun to watch. I mean, I think we would love watching the Yankees games, but you don't have that team that's running away. That's going to have 105 wins. I mean, you might not have a team that wins 100, and the teams that were really up there are starting to struggle a little bit. So I would tell you right now, the teams that we're kind of looking out for are the ones that I would say are in the 12 to 25 to 1 range. I think as far as a playoff team construction. The team that impresses me the most right now, if I had to go make a bet today, I bet the San Diego Padres to win the World Series. I think the Brewers are an interesting team, just the way they've kind of put things together. When you look at the American League, I do like what Baltimore's got cooking, and then after a very, very slow start on the other side, you got the Houston Astros. So I would say those are the 4 teams.
Threat.
Yeah, they're always a threat, and even maybe more so because they really started off slow.
Sure.
And now I would say those would be the 4 teams where we're starting to see the most action. Certainly in the last 2 weeks, that's where we've seen the action.
And you're from Detroit, right?
Yeah, I'm from Detroit.
In or out on the Lions this year?
I'm in on the Lions. I think that you're not going to get a team that's going to win the Super Bowl that out of the blue when they haven't made the playoffs in a long time. NFL. There's experience means a lot, and you got to kind of work your way up. Making it to the NFC Championship game last year, having a big lead at halftime, and having a devastating second half. I think there's an element where it's a rite of passage. Now, you could say, well, the Lions have a little tougher schedule this year. Maybe the Lions aren't as lucky on injuries because they avoided a lot of big injuries last year. But I think it's a step-up case for the team. I certainly hope it is.
What's the action like, Eagles and then also the Bears? Because I think those are 2 teams nationally we spent a lot of time talking about, and people fluctuate. Some days they're in and some days they're out.
Yeah, let me start with the Bears. I've been asked this question a few times here at Radio Row, and sometimes the question is, which team is most overhyped? I think it's kind of fair to say the team that's most overhyped, the way the NFL does it, and they do such a great job, is that if you're on Hard Knocks, they construct this script where you really like the team and you like the players, you like Rome, you like everything that's going on here with the Bears, and but at the same point, the Bears aren't going to win the Super Bowl this year.
Sure.
And I know there's a lot of people from Chicago think it's going to happen. So I'd say they're the ones I think that have been pushed the most. That might be a bit overbought.
And then Philly, you feel like people in Philly or no?
No, I mean
because it ended so poorly last year.
Yeah, but I think Philly. There's a little regression to the mean. I think Philly's still a legit threat.
And the last team I'll ask you about, and I call them the drama Dallas choking Cowboys, but the Dallas Cowboys, who we know are always in the news and are always talked about, and they got crazy fans, but they said they were going to be all in this offseason. And their best offseason move was bringing back Ezekiel Elliott. what's the betting action like on the Cowboys? Because I think they're going to miss the playoffs this year. I think they're one of those teams that made the playoffs a year ago and miss it this upcoming season.
Well, I think the betting world, the sharps, all that fall into the same category as what you're saying. We've not seen any Dallas money at all, and you think about how many Texas people come here. We've just not seen much at all.
All right, so before we let you run, Derek Stevens, the owner and CEO of Circa Resorts and Casino, for people listening right now, people watching you right now, what do they need to know about this place that maybe people don't know right now when listening to you?
Well, I would just say if you ever come down to Circa and you like sports betting, I'm pretty sure your game's going to be on. I think it's worth checking out. So obviously I'm a big proponent of Vegas, and if you come out to Circa, we're one of the newest hotel casinos in Vegas, and I'd love you to see some of these world wonders like Stadium Swim, Legacy Club, and the world's largest sports book. I think you'll enjoy it. We have a lot of fun down here.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. It's a pleasure to meet you, and thanks so much for having us on.
Thank you.